this. All right, our breaking news this morning. Out of Gaza, the ceasefire has been broken and the war has resumed. Overnight, Israel launched deadly strikes in Gaza. The country's foreign minister says the strikes are a response to Hamas rejecting two mediation proposals presented by the United States. Listen.
Concrete proposals made by the American Special Envoy to extend the ceasefire. Hamas said no. So with no other choice, Israel is forced to carry out this activity.
Now, in the aftermath of the strikes, horrific scenes out of Gaza. Palestinian health ministry run by Hamas says more than 400 people have been killed, most of them children. CNN's Jeremy Diamond is in Tel Aviv. Jeremy, what does this mean for a ceasefire? Obviously, we're seeing what it means to the Palestinians in Gaza. It means death and destruction, but also for the hostages who are still there and the families wondering if they're ever going to be free.
Yeah, without a doubt, Sarah. For the time being, this ceasefire is dead and gone. Israel is not only returning to war in Gaza, but ramping up military operations with plans for a, quote, massive offensive in Gaza. What we have seen overnight was a massive aerial bombardment that killed over 400 people, according to the Palestinian Ministry of Health, one of the highest single-day death tolls that we have seen in Gaza in months now. More than 500 other people were wounded, and as we see all too often in Gaza, so many of the victims that we are seeing, both the injured and the dead, are children. And we have seen a number of children, including the bodies of several babies in the images that we saw coming out of Gaza. The Israeli government said that it returned to the fight in Gaza because of Hamas's refusal to agree to new conditions to extend this ceasefire and release additional hostages. Hamas, for its part, has accused Israel of unilaterally deciding to do away with this ceasefire and says that it was willing to continue engaging in negotiations to reach phase 2 of this agreement, which would mean an end of the war in Gaza and the withdrawal of all Israeli troops. But this Israeli government has made clear that it was not interested in engaging in those longer-term negotiations about an end of the war and was instead seeking to release a smaller number of hostages in exchange for an extension of this ceasefire. And that is prompting concern not only from people in Gaza, but also from the families of the hostages. We saw a statement from the hostages and missing families headquarters saying that the Israeli government has chosen to, quote, give up on the hostages. They say that they are shocked, angry, and terrified by the dismantling of the process to return their loved ones. We are expecting that there will be protests in Israel tonight that were already planned following the firing of Israel's domestic intelligence chief. We will see whether those protests now evolve to take into account what has now happened and the concern of the families of so many of these hostages that a return to war in Gaza means that their loved ones will be in grave danger. One Israeli official, though, telling me that Israel will engage in a sliding escalatory scale of military action, which they say is designed to pressure Hamas to agree to new conditions and release more hostages. Sarah?
The pictures coming out of Gaza are absolutely devastating, and I know, as you said, those families waiting for hostages are also duly devastated. Thank you so much, Jeremy Diamond, for your great reporting there in Tel Aviv.